Howdy, how you doing? So I was thinking, I'm gonna try to harvest some of the wild, it's called wood sorrel, clovers that are in my backyard. They're these beautiful little, let me grab one. Oh, you can zoom. There we go. It's one of my favorite foraged foods. You can't eat too much of it, like a handful, you're good. But you don't want to like subsist just on these because they have a lot of oxalic acid in them, which will turn into these little needles that I think it causes like kidney stones or something like that. But we'll give it a little taste. It's sweet and tangy. I really like it. I'm also a really big fan of vinegar, and balsamic vinegar was like one of my favorite things, but I actually found out it's a migraine trigger pretty recently, as I've been trying to be more mindful of what I'm putting into my body and taking note of if I eat something strange, then something other than like rice and bread, like do I notice anything? And I love the tangy sweetness of balsamic vinegar, but those grape skins in there, I think the tannin levels are a little bit high, and tannins seem to be a migraine trigger for me. So like if I eat like a handful of raisins, I'm probably gonna get a migraine. If I have one oatmeal raisin cookie, probably gonna be okay. However, like why not just have a chocolate chip cookie? Like, you know? But a cookie's a cookie. So, the current plan. Now, ideally, I would like to plant all my stuff in ceramic or terracotta, but I don't have any terracotta right now, but I do have some water bottles. And since they are food safe, unfortunately, the type of plastic that is typically used in water bottles ends up chemically reacting to oils and things like that, so you have to use a different type of plastic for olive oil than you do for water. But since we're not going to have a high lipid concentration in my plant here, I think we're going to be okay. I'm pretty sure that the wood sorrel will remain edible out of plastic. And again, I don't love plastic, but you work with what you have. So here's the plan. I have this little lantern, it's like lantern greenhouse thing going on here, and I can just about squeeze 3 bottles in there. So we're going to turn this into a drainable plant container. And the way that I will do that is by, let's see here, I got to make sure that this is a little bit shorter. I'll go right here. I think I'm going to go with this first line here. So I need the top piece to be shorter than the bottom piece so that the drainage hole will not be rusting on the bottom of the bottle. Double check, sort of measure it. I'm just going to, let's see. Yeah, I'll use the top of my scissors, and where I want to cut is about right there. Let's see if that, oh, that's a little bit much. Let's try, what if I were to cut it here? Let's see. Yeah, that should give me enough room. So I'm actually going to cut up at the second line here. So here's the first line, here's the second line. So just a little bit of change in your measurements makes a big difference. Like anything. Okay, let's see if it fits. Oh, I could have cut it at the first line because it doesn't fit completely snugly in there. But you can see what's going on here. Okay, we have made the container. Task 2 is getting some dirt in there. You know what? I'm going to throw a little piece of stone in the bottom See if this one fits nicely. It's just some stones from backyard here. Yeah, that seems to fit pretty nicely in there, and it still has room for water to drain out. So I want like the soil not to just fall right down to the bottom, but to have something to sort of catch it a little bit. Okay. Here's my soil over here. My mother was an angel and got a huge bag of soil the other day when they were going out for, you know, food and supplies and stuff. And she gifted me a little bit of soil because she knew that I wanted to plant some things. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. This looks like pretty good soil. I can't remember exactly what the bag said. Here we go. Oh yeah, hardly any soil came down to the bottom because I put the rock in there. So I'll fill this up, I don't know, halfway before I start harvesting my wood sorrels. Oh, that's more than halfway, but it's very, very loosely compacted. Okay, let's see here. I know there's a little bit of wood sorrel right down here. Let's see if you guys can see it. Yeah, it's like right over there. Okay, let's see if I can get this guy out without hurting him too much. Okay, it's right. Oh, the chair's kind of in the way. Hold on. Let's see if we can do this. It's not the best shot, but I'm trying. I'm gonna use some of the rocks that are next to it here. And you can find wood sorrel growing in your backyard. You'll find it growing in the city, along hiking trails. This is one of those plants that is everywhere. Let's see the base of it pretty well right here. Looks pretty good. And what I want to do is remove it without causing too much damage to the plant itself. I'm going to sort of try my best to be gentle. And hopefully, if I mess up, it'll still be okay. Big rock is kind of in here. Loosen it up. I've got most of the stem. Okay, there we go. Looks pretty good. You see most of the root structure is intact, and I'm not going to wipe away all of the dirt on the roots there because there's often a lot of microbes that are symbiotic to plants, especially in trees. You'll find if you shake too much dirt off the roots on like a pine that you're replanting, it just may not take well because it needs that little microbiome of bacteria to function correctly. Okay, let's see here. There's like a hair attached to it. That's it's actually like wrapped around one of the leaves. Hold on. I don't want to like accidentally damage this little guy. Sort of. There we go. It's a really long hair and it was probably mine. I'm just going to sort of make a little hole with my finger there. Let's give it a little bit of a place to rest in. Just pop it in right like that. And sort of very, very lightly form the soil around it. Now I'll probably put a little bit more soil in there. But you know what? Because I'm demonstrating, I should just do that. Hold on. Okay. So I just added a little bit more sort of cover up the base there, and wood sorrel responds really well toward having just the bottom juncture that's coming up above the root actually submerged into the soil. So hopefully he'll like that. And for the sake of demonstration, here, actually, let me change the angle here. See how that works. Oh, almost. Okay, I'll just do this. So for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to water it. I'm going to actually probably find another one or two of these to fill into this little space. But one of the important things about planting something is it needs water. So preferably non-chlorinated water. If you do have chlorinated water, it really helps to set it in a wide mouth open container for 24 hours, but that can be its own sort of health hazard. So work with what you got. Most plants can handle city water, and Harrisburg is I think one of the top 3 in the nation for how good their city water is. So cheers. So I'm fully saturating the soil, and we're going to watch it drop down in a second. So there we go. Just started dripping down. A nice slow drip there. You can see that a little bit of the soil drips down with it, and you want to be careful not to overwater, because if you have too many nutrients flushed out of the soil, it won't be healthy. Sort of like you need salt to be able to conserve water in your body, but if you drink salt water, it's not good. So there's a fine balance on watering. Well, there you go. Work with what you got, and hope you have a wonderful day.